Okay, let's get one thing straight. I think credibility is extremely important when someone is making a full card breakdown of an upcoming UFC event. And hey, even though my picks are quite rare, if I'm not mistaken, I have a 100% hit rate so far. I know that sounds incredible, kinda unbelievable, but it's not that really. Looking back, I had like 10 picks in total in the last few months, and only 3 or 4 of them were slight underdogs. So as I said, it's nothing too incredible. What is going to be incredible is this UFC 320 card, man. Like, not only are we getting Alex Pereira back in the octagon, we are also getting Jiri versus Khalil, and it almost feels like that should be the co-main as opposed to Merab and Sandhagen. Now, I know Merab is the champion, Sandhagen is the next up challenger for the belt, but don't we think Merab is just going to maul him? I love my man Sandhagen, alright? Love his nerdy stuff, breaking down his style with his YouTube videos and such. He truly is a student of the game, and I really admire that deeply. Merab, on the other hand though, is quite literally a machine. There is just no one in this world who can even think of matching his pace, cause the cardio this dude has is incredible. That's putting it lightly even. Some critics of him, me included, were saying he's an excellent fighter but he lacked the finishing instincts, and he definitely did back then, yet in his last fight he got a nice submission. So I wonder, is it possible? Are we going to see 2 back-to-back Merab finishes, which would be crazy, right? I will circle back to and like go deeper onto why I think that, but before I do so, I wanna talk about the people's main event. Yes, I'm talking about Jiri versus Khalil, man. Who else could it be? I literally did zero thinking or analysis in my mind about this fight before I started recording, cause you know why, that's exactly how my boy Jiri will go into this. Jokes aside though, that's what makes him dangerous. We've seen it with Rakic, we've seen it with Hill. Even though his defense is improving quite a bit, he still is that wild striker who actively looks to start throwing absolutely wild combinations himself, or he counter-strikes you in such a way it turns into a semi-scramble somehow, he grabs a collar tie, he trips you from there, falls with you, and in the meanwhile the guy still keeps on striking. It's such a big pleasure to watch when that happens. Even if you are not a big fan of his, you just know this guy has all the finishing instinct there is to have. Now, don't get me wrong, the same can be said for Khalil for the most part as well, but now that I'm thinking out loud, both of these guys have been around for a while, right? If we are to only judge them based on their most recent performance, cause you know it was the same opponent for both of the guys, well, I think Jiri looked a lot better against Hill. Khalil, while he won all the rounds against Hill, looked weirdly passive after hurting him. Maybe it was because he knew he was quicker, technically superior to Hill, so he didn't want to risk anything. But let me tell you, if Jiri got someone hurt that bad, he would get them out of there 100%. Like, come on, he got Hill out on a 3-rounder fight while Khalil couldn't do the same thing in a 5-round one. Now I know, it's not all about the finishes these fighters get, because if we are being fair, one could make the argument, yeah, Khalil didn't get the finish, but he was never once in danger, while Jiri got hit with a few big shots here and there if you remember. Enough with MMA Matt here, I think in this specific matchup I would go with Jiri all the way. I go with him because why? Well, I genuinely think his style puts him in an advantageous position in this fight. If Khalil thinks he can play the role of a technician, striking from the distance, picking Jiri apart with leg kicks and such, oh boy, is he in for an awakening. If you ask me, I would say Jiri's ability to thrive under the chaos will get him the victory here, cause I don't think Khalil will have the same success with circling around, just using leg kicks to keep the distance. I mean, he looked incredible against Hill, yeah, but Hill is way too flat-footed sometimes, and struggles heavily to cut an opponent off, so I don't see Jiri having the same problem at all, and I have him by finish in this fight. You can call it what you want, cry about it, I mean we can agree to disagree, but this fight will be a scrap, Jiri will make it a scrap, and honestly in any scrap he is the guy to go with. Moving on to the actual main event, Alex Pereira. Chama, I don't even know how he says that exactly, but not gonna lie, I missed his peak already. He was extremely active, knocking out everyone left and right, it was just beautiful to witness, what can I say? As we all know though, all good things must come to an end. I reckon that's what's going to happen to this Pereira hype train. I mean, he lost the belt already. It will be kinda bittersweet if Big Ank beats him again, which I think he will. Cause think about it, then he beats Pereira back to back, and Pereira is a 2-division champion. Not just in the UFC by the way, he was also a 2-division champion in Glory Kickboxing, which is incredibly impressive. Truth to be told, I can go on and on about Alex Pereira's achievements, but as incredible as he is just not winning this. I don't come to that conclusion lightly, but let's not kid ourselves, Pereira's performance in his first showing against Big Ank was beyond terrible. As a big fan of Alex myself, I don't want to look back at that performance and laugh at it, but I do because there's nothing else I can do looking at it. I really am still struggling to understand, man, how does an incredible kickboxer like Alex only land, you know what, I'm not even going to say the number, I want you to guess first. So, the question is, how many strikes to the head do you think Alex landed in the first fight? You may guess 30 over the course of a 25-minute bout. No, go much lower. 20? Nah, even lower than that. If you are at 10, well, you are being unfair because he landed 11. What was he thinking? Like, I don't even know what to say, in a bad way, of course. So yeah, without yapping too much about my hurt feelings, being a Pereira fan and all, I can tell you with confidence, I think he is cooked, man. And I just hope he at least is a bit more active. Still, we shall see what happens. What do we have so far, huh? We have Merab winning, we have Big Ank winning, and Jiri, of course. So I'm thinking, before I finally circle back to the Sandhagen versus Merab matchup, let's talk a bit about the prelims and the main card opener, which is Joe Pyfer versus Abus. Now, I recognize this isn't the most interesting matchup in the world, so I'ma keep it simple for you. If Joe Pyfer was able to get over Kelvin, I think he gets it done here as well. Abus has been looking super slow at times, very hesitant to throw, and in general, he is old, he looks old. I mean, the guy is only 35, but what I'm saying is this. If you look that passive against someone like Alex Pereira, who is a complete fraud, you are just not standing there with young, hungry Joe Pyfer, even though he has so many holes in his game too. I went back and checked, Abus actually has some slick submissions in his past fights, but we haven't seen that level of submissions in the UFC yet by him. I mean, at least not to a degree where I would be like, okay, maybe Joe Pyfer is in some real danger. It honestly doesn't take a genius to point out the pure power Joe possesses should give him the upper hand here. Don't get me wrong, as I said, he is also still developing, so he's not like a marauder, you know? But he has shown he is improving, so as long as he doesn't do something completely nonsense, he got this in the bag, I would say. Let me tell you about someone who is a marauder and will be even more of a nightmare for everyone who faces him in the future. I'm talking about the machine, I'm talking about Merab Dvalishvili. Alright, let's have a reality check for a moment together, okay? For Sandhagen to win, what do you think is the most likely scenario? Can he knock Merab out? I mean, technically he can with a flying knee or something, yet didn't we watch Sean O'Malley try that for like 5 rounds in the first fight, and a few more in the second? So when I sit down and think, how can Sandhagen win, my mind doesn't necessarily go to the knockout only. I think, can this fighter put up with Merab's pressure for 5 straight rounds and win a decision? The answer for that is almost always no. Don't be fully discouraged though, stay with me, maybe, just maybe, Sandhagen gets him in like a nice submission. How crazy would it be if he catches him in a guillotine or something? Like, obviously it doesn't have to be guillotine, cause I'm pretty sure Sandhagen can find some opportunities for submissions of all kinds basically. Cause Merab is going to be consistently applying pressure for the takedown, and you know, his entries aren't the best of the best. If this fight was like a year ago, Cory by submission wouldn't sound too bad or too crazy. However, after seeing Merab submit Sean with such ease, as well as seeing him train BJJ with Mighty Mouse and such, I don't know if I would give this that high of a chance anymore. That's mainly why I say Merab is an easy pick here. He's an extremely unique fighter with a very powerful gimmick, which is having unlimited cardio, and most importantly, he utilizes that so well. He tires people out, literally make fun of them, and nowadays he started choking them out too. As far as the main card goes, I'm not going to talk about the Emmett fight, and now that I think about it a bit more, I'm also passing on the entire undercard, so you only get 4 picks from me in this event. We are going with 4 favorites, no matter how small or big of a favorite they are. And I personally couldn't care less about the odds, I'm just trying to guess who has the highest chance of winning, you know? So please do let me know what you think down in the comments, and I know I've been the worst about checking them, but hey, I'm trying, alright? You are more than free to come back here and mock me if I got any picks wrong today, as long as you wrote yours beforehand. That's only fair, right? Anyway, take care, cheers.